Well, we're with Hansi Weens, the men's and women's squash coach at Dartmouth College. Thank you for joining us for our Coaching During COVID series. And, you've lost your winter season, but I know you're able to work with your team. What is that looking like so far here now in late January?
So we had 11 players in the fall here, and we have 11 players in the winter here. With 10 feet distance, it is quite challenging on the squash court because we can only play short and deep drills, really. We can't play right and left because, there's not enough distance there. So what we concentrate on is mostly technique, moving in and out of the shot, not lifting your head too early, looking at 3 dimensions, which means the ball bounces, comes up, you play in the highest spot or the lowest spot. Things like this, we usually don't have too much time to do that, maybe in the spring or the summer, but not as many players are here usually that time. So this is a good time for us just to, work on technique and just moving in and out of the shot, not just, fitness. We can't do too much fitness because, at this time, it's difficult to do, and we have no season. So for us to have those period of time for 6-7 weeks, we just concentrate on that, in and out, move your feet while you hit the ball, move out. Instead of watching it, you should move first and then watch it. So, and different players have different talents, as we know. It's based on individual skills, instructions to show them and to practice, most likely the soft shots and movement overall. Which I enjoy a lot. And I'm a technical guy. I think fitness is very important. To get fit is not as difficult as to control the ball, control the pace, and this kind of work. And we can see big improvement in the players. We saw that already in the fall, that the players realize how much it is. We use our phones, so for slow motion, they can see it visually afterwards. Which is great. So in the fall term, we only had 1 squash court because of the renovation. Now we have all the squashes available, which makes more of a team dynamic as well. And it's different. Yeah, it's good to have them back, and it's good to be on court with them again. And I really enjoyed this time.
Well, you mentioned the renovation. You had some squash court renovations here over the last year. It wasn't supposed to last that long, but the pandemic had a little bit something to say with it. Tell us a little bit about what those squash courts look like. What are the bells and whistles that are now, associated with the squash area?
So it's a huge difference for me. So when I arrived 14 years ago or so, I'm from Europe. We don't have those courts in Europe. So they were like wooden courts, quite loud, quite bouncy. The balls would bounce out of the corners, which means you could read the ball well, but technique or just to put the ball into corners was quite difficult. Now we are like in the same level as all the other Ivy Leagues, and we're the same squash courts now, which means if you compare tennis, it's like you practice on grass all winter, all summer, and then you play on clay. So that's the difference, more or less, because what happened in squash now with the renovation, which is great, and I love those courts now. We had our practice this morning, just finished an hour ago. It makes a huge difference. So what it means is the walls are less forgiving. If you play a ball down the wall and it touches the wall, it comes to the middle. So you have to be careful for the next shot. If you play a short ball, you have to reach out more to the front because the ball stays more in the front corners, which means it makes the whole squash courts much longer. It feels longer. Plus, you have to hit it much harder to get it to the back corners. So physically, it's a different thing, and technically as well, it's a totally different courts. Plus, we have live streaming, which we did last year. We decided this last year, and now we can see why we need it in the future, especially with people who can't come here and watch, their friends, to play. They can actually do it from home, and we can record everything and work from there in the future. And I look forward to that. To just have the whole team, every court recorded, and we can sit down and talk to them about it. Instead of putting all the GoPros on the courts and get them off and download them and so on and so on. So this is huge help. And sound system, we didn't have a sound system before, and we had music on this morning, and it was motivational. They loved it, they enjoyed it, smiling, singing. It was good.
So even with the loss of the season, it sounds like morale seems pretty good, especially with all the changes and the upgrades to the courts.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do, right? I mean, you can look back and say, okay, we can't do this. Okay, let's work on something. We got to work on something. And we talk about this all the time. We talk about mental toughness, what it means, work outside your comfort zone, and work on something you're not good at. And that makes you don't feel good, but they can see later on, they can see what happens because we put lines up, they can see the targets, where the ball has to bounce, and they feel the ball much more than they used to do. So this will give us, like we will be more competitive for sure in the league, as well as it will be the real game for me. Like a real team, fitness wise, will be different, challenging. You got to be stronger up on your arms to hit the ball deeper, and so on and so on. And this time we need to work on something, otherwise we're not going to get better. And that's what we do.
And what about your own mental toughness? I mean, how have you been handling the pandemic here, and what you've been limited to with your team and also personally?
Yeah, personally, I mean, we have two kids. My wife Valeria and I have two kids. They're 9 and 7 years old. And we are quite fortunate to be able to live in Hanover. So, first 6 months from March till September, it was challenging having two kids at that age. We both have full-time jobs and so on. But, we can do a lot outdoors, which is great for the kids. And personally, yeah, I keep in shape. I try to have some new skills. So after Christmas, I worked on Rubik's Cube, which I had 30 years ago, didn't know how to figure. Now actually can do it. And I'm very proud of myself that actually I can do it. I started to play drums a little bit. So I bought drums and go in the basement and practice that a little bit. Do my sit-ups, push-ups with my kids in the basement just to keep in shape a little bit. I'm just happy to be able to jump on court now again and, hit with Luke and the team, which is so much fun. Yeah, it's been challenging, but, we're getting through it. We can see the light right now, and we're getting motivated for, hopefully the summer and next season we can play.
All right. Sounds good, Coach. And thank you for taking the time to speak with us today, and good luck with your training here this winter.
Thank you so much, Rick. Take care.